Well, we're seeing that the climate is changing across the globe, across the United States, and here in New England as well. We can look at the average temperature of the Earth's surface, and we've been doing so for the past 120 years or so, by taking measurements of the Earth's surface from thousands of thermometers that are recording land surface temperatures, thermometers that are in the Earth's oceans, on buoys, on ships. We also more recently have been taking records from satellites as well. And we're able to carefully measure the changes in the Earth's average surface temperature across each continent and across the oceans for the past many decades. So we know from those temperature records that the average temperature of the Earth's surface has increased about 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit since 1900. Most of that warming has happened in the past 50 years during my lifetime. So this past decade, from 2000 to 2009, my lifetime of my daughter is the warmest decade we've seen on record. The decade of the 1990s was the warmest decade before that. We've seen about the same amount of warming in the United States as we have globally. And here in New England, average temperatures have increased about 2 degrees Fahrenheit. And winter temperatures are actually warming faster than the average. We've seen about 4 degrees Fahrenheit warming here in New England since 1970. You know, if you do have a sensor in a city, you get an urban heat island effect, and it would be warmer than you'd be getting if it were out in the countryside. But all of the measures that are now taken take account of that. So we really can factor out the urban heat island effect, and what we're getting is an accurate representation of the actual increasing of the Earth's surface. And by the way, we're seeing the same pattern across the oceans, where you don't have an urban heat island effect as we are on the land surface. Now, you know, these are averages. We'll still have a record cold day, cold season here and there, but the average, the characteristic climate is changing. Across the continental United States, for example, we've seen over the past decade about twice as many record highs as we have had record lows. And that's part of the pattern of change that we're seeing, that the signal of warming is emerging from the noise of natural climate variability.